Hello friends, this is Military Reporter Frontline Focus. Welcome to a short military video. News update. Developments in Kursk and eastern Ukraine. As reported by the Institute for the Study of War, recent Ukrainian military actions in Russia's Kursk Oblast appear to have derailed planned Russian offensives that aim to expand combat operations along a broader front in northeastern Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky disclosed that Russia intended to create buffer zones along the Ukrainian border, with major offensives directed at regional centers like Sumy and Kharkiv cities. These plans were thwarted by Ukraine's operations, forcing Russia to focus resources in response to the Ukrainian incursion. Russian forces continue to counterattack in Kursk Oblast, but face challenges in launching a sustained counteroffensive without redeploying additional troops from other areas. Current Russian personnel numbers in Kursk range between 33,000 to 40,000, with the potential plan to expand to 70,000. However, many are believed to be poorly trained conscripts rather than experienced combat units. In eastern Ukraine, Russian forces are testing new mechanized assault tactics near Donetsk city, but remain vulnerable to Ukrainian defenses. Both nations have engaged in another prisoner of war exchange mediated by the UA, signaling evolving negotiation dynamics amid ongoing hostilities. Meanwhile, Russia is reportedly reinforcing strategic military ties with China, North Korea, and Iran. These alliances aim to bolster Russia's defense and economic capabilities amidst its ongoing war effort in Ukraine. Ukrainian and Russian forces are actively engaging in combat across Kursk Oblast, with both sides claiming advances in various regions. In eastern Ukraine, Russian troops are intensifying efforts along the Kupiansk-Svatov-Kremenna line and have achieved marginal gains in Donetsk, although Ukrainian defenses remain resilient. Furthermore, Russian authorities are attempting to recruit minorities and Ukrainian youth in occupied territories into military service to avoid broader mobilization. Positional fighting is also ongoing in Zaporizhia, and Russia continues to strengthen its air defense systems around strategic locations like Crimea and the Kerch Strait Bridge. These developments indicate a complex and evolving conflict landscape as both Russia and Ukraine continue to adjust their military strategies in response to the dynamic situation on the ground. Ukraine's military intelligence chief, Kyrylo Budanov, expressed serious concerns over increased military support from North Korea to Russia, highlighting significant implications for Ukrainian defense efforts. At the Ukraine Year 2024 conference in Kyiv, Budanov emphasized that North Korea's provision of artillery ammunition presents a substantial challenge, outstripping aid from Moscow's other allies. The collaboration between North Korea and Russia is seen in the supply of missiles and artillery in exchange for economic and military support from Moscow. This assistance has intensified battlefield hostilities, with Russia leveraging enhanced production capabilities of guided bombs and missiles, which have significantly impacted Ukraine's frontline defenses. Budanov also noted potential future challenges for Russia, predicting a recruitment shortfall by mid-2025, which could force Moscow to choose between declaring mobilization or reducing hostilities. This internal pressure may significantly influence the dynamics of the ongoing conflict. Also, Lieutenant General Kyrylo Budanov asserts that long-range strikes into Russia have shattered the perception of safety among Russian citizens. Speaking in Kyiv, Budanov highlighted the psychological impact of these strikes, noting they have undermined the belief in Russia as a powerful and invincible nation. He emphasized the strategic advantage Ukraine gains from these deep strikes, despite limited capabilities. Pro-Russian billboards have appeared across Italy, displaying the slogan "Russia is not our enemy," alongside images of Italian and Russian flags. These billboards, which also include messages urging an end to military aid for Ukraine and Israel, have been funded by groups originally protesting COVID-19 restrictions. Initially seen in northern Italy, they have now emerged in Rome, causing mixed reactions. The Ukrainian embassy in Italy has voiced concerns, urging Rome to reconsider permits for such displays, which they see as Russian propaganda efforts to rehabilitate Russia's image. In response, some Italian authorities have removed the billboards, particularly due to their unauthorized use of the city's official symbols, while others have allowed them to stay until their payment terms concluded. Despite the removal orders, at least one billboard remained visible in Rome as of September 13th. Local reactions have varied, and public debate has arisen over the billboard's implications for free speech versus propaganda. Sovranità Popolare, the group behind the campaign, cites Italy's constitutional rejection of war and claims a narrative of fear and Russophobia has been spread since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While Italy's government, led by Giorgia Meloni, officially supports military aid to Ukraine in line with EU policies, there are indications of internal sympathy towards Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky recently engaged with Meloni at the Ambrosetti Forum to discuss Ukraine's recovery and the peace formula, underscoring ongoing diplomatic efforts amidst this backdrop of public opinion and propaganda. Japan scrambles jets as Russian aircraft circle archipelago. Japan's defense ministry announced the scrambling of fighter jets in response to Russian aircraft flying around the country for the first time in 5 years. On Thursday, Russian Tu-142 maritime reconnaissance planes flew from the sea between Japan and South Korea towards Okinawa, then north over the Pacific Ocean near Hokkaido. The aircraft did not breach Japan's airspace, but traversed an area disputed between Japan and Russia. The last Russian aircraft to circle Japan was in 2019, when bombers entered Japanese airspace. This incident follows joint drills by Russian and Chinese warships in the Sea of Japan, part of a large-scale naval exercise touted by Russian President Putin as the biggest in decades. The increased military activity underscores the strengthening ties between Russia and China, who have united against perceived U.S. global dominance. Their cooperation has intensified since Russia's Ukraine invasion, a conflict that has also strained Japan-Russia relations due to territorial disputes over the Kyrylo Islands, seized by the Soviet Union in World War II's final days.